So I thought I'd do a follow-up review on my Pedalfish 10. I've had it for 6 months now. Surprisingly a lot of views on YouTube about it last time, so, and had a lot of questions coming at me, so I thought I'd do another one and just the little modifications I've done to it to make it even better. Now I'm still really happy with it. In one of the other vids I've showed I cut down the rudder, took a bit off it just because it was lower than the Kayak. Cut that down, didn't find any difference in the steering, and that's on the other vid anyway. But you just feel that over the time of using it, your hand's always on the tiller, on the rudder, constantly overcorrecting, just because it's not hanging down below it and using it as a good keel. So I ended up buying off Sea Kayaks the drop down rudder. I'll take that for a run later. So as you see, it finishes above there, so you can still drive it over, pull it over shallow stuff, then it drops down and that's below that level. So I'll see how well that it works. Should improve the steering a bit. If I reckon you could undo that bolt too, and that'll swing all the way down, and it'll really improve it. But I'll give it a go like that first. What else have I done? I put a duo weed guard in. If you get on eBay, punch that into eBay, duo weed guard in. I think I paid about 12 bucks. No gap in there now. That has been really good in amongst the weed. Worthwhile investment. On the top here I've put a little like an eye bolt, cut that bit out, bit of silicone in there, so while I'm pedaling I can, if I'm using 2 rods, I can put that between my legs and just rest on there. I forgot to strap down my little plastic console one day and it flew off, so I made one out of timber. It turned out alright. What else? Sounder's there. It's mounted in here. When you're mounting these in the hull, it's in there. Make sure you use Selleys All Clear. A lot of silicons don't like sticking to plastic. So that goes in there, and that big blob of Selleys All Clear, push it in hard there and leave it. It takes ages for it to go off. Yeah, so just push it down, leave it for a few days, it'll be good. On a previous vid, the same one where I cut the rudder down, I showed I've turned it into a tiller steer to be a bit more like a boat. So instead of, when they're set up, when you buy them, you push that way and it goes to the left, push that way it goes to the right. But when you're driving boats and that around, it works opposite, so I've swapped that over. Yeah, there's the old rudder, new rudder in there. I've also, to lay the rods down so they're not sticking up in there and when you're casting with the spare rods and getting tangled up, so I've just put a couple little clips in there. They work a treat. And I've also got this for the oar, like the one that comes with it. It's back a bit, it's pretty tight to clip it in, and I wanted something a lot faster and easier. A couple of them, Bob's your uncle. It's very handy. I put a fish measure, I do this on all my kayaks. So screw that in there, that's where I butt the nose up, and then I've got little increments, marks all the important ones, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, so on, up to a metre. So it saves pulling out brag mats, things like that. It's a lot more accurate too, nice hard straight surface. I like using it without the bungs in the centre. The water in and out very easy. I put the bungs in the back. This is where I put my dry gear, my tackle boxes and stuff. I made a dry box. I found to keep me dry gear in, so I just used the battery box. Put some legs on it, screwed that in, worked out where I like my seat comfortably, and it so happens it fits in behind my seat very nicely. So I've got just a couple little holes in the bottom of that to drain out, but if water goes in there, I've still got probably 2.5 inches there, so that's where I put all my phones, phone cases and things, all little bits and pieces, right behind the seat. Very handy. Don't think there's too much else, but yeah, very, very happy with it. Like, going in reverse on this thing is awesome. Going jack fishing, sitting on, you'll be going forward, yeah, we've got the current, you're coming up to a snag, and you can just time the speed as you wind backwards, pedal backwards. You can get 6, 7, 8 casts in on a snag, and I found that awesome. Really, really like it. So stoked with the kayak. I haven't tried the belt driven ones yet that are both Sea Kayaks and Dream Kayaks sell. I'd love to give one a go. Yeah, they reckon they're fairly easy to work on and that, but yeah, these longevity of these gear driven ones are pretty awesome. Yeah, very, very stable, as you would have seen on my first one. But I'll what else? Oh, I made up a little trolley. So that's literally everything's from Bunnings. Couple wheels, cost nothing. Welded that, drilled a hole through there, so that goes through the holes at the back. But the big thing is, I've heard a few people saying if you got the big rubber things on the other ones, and it can split the kayak because you're carrying the weight of the kayak. By doing this, the kayak's resting on there, so that's the weight of the kayak, so you're not splitting on the join in between the holes in there in the middle of the kayak. So that literally, it'll probably cost me, I don't know, $20, $30 sort of with the wheels and that. If you got any welding skills, that's only a couple tacks. Didn't take long, very quick and easy to do. And that's about all, I think. I'll go give it another run. People don't want to watch the other review. I'll do the times on it. I find you can go, even when you're tired, you can cruise happily at 4 k's an hour. If you push it a little bit harder, you can cruise, yeah, if you're a bit fitter, cruise all day at 5k an hour. Really going flat out. I've gotten it up to about 7, but you can only do that for a few seconds. But if you're working on how long to get to places, if you work off about 4 k's an hour, you'll get there easy. Radio, I'll go take it for a run. I'll just also mention, with the trolley wheels, you can tip it up like that, put in, fits in beautiful, still got heaps of room, put tackle boxes and things, bits and pieces there, and it's not in the way, takes up bugger all room, sits nice and low. And also when you got your food, and if you're esky, trying to fit an esky on the back with food in it and it's getting in the way of the fish stuff, I just pull that one out. And I was in at Bunnings and I found this, so that was in there being stiff. I just threw that away because it takes up a bit of room. So you've got a good little food bag, and that fits beautifully in there. It can't slide down, hits that, can't go anywhere. And you can got the little bit there if you got your cans of drink in there. I put a couple frozen ice blocks, or freeze a couple like Powerade water bottles or whatever, 600ml, keep them frozen, put a few cans of drink or whatever, and your nibblies, fruit, whatever you want in there, and that does the job nicely. Just going to put the new keel on, the new rudder on. Don't know if you can see that, it's Nice and easy to put on. I recommend taking it off and putting it on every time you unload, unless you've got a couple people. Able to see there, I'll roll it back over. Only takes a few seconds to put it on and off. Tension it up as firm as you want it. That's about right. The old pedal unit in place. You just lock it in, the two clips there. Grab the paddle, clip it in me little oar holders. It's been one of the best things I've done, well worth doing. Just paddling out past the weed. Clip the oar in, easy. So, to drop that down, very, very simple. Just take your console off, drop it down, put it back on, then you're right to go. Wow, this new rudder. The new rudder is unbelievable. That is ridiculous how good that works. Mate, 80 bucks, these rudders are instant turning. The other one, you got to get up to a speed to turn. This thing is instant. That is the best 80 bucks I've spent. That is really good. Yeah, if you can see out there, look how tight this is turning, and I'm going slow. Oh, yep, that rudder is awesome. Pay the money, get that aftermarket rudder. I think they call it the drop down rudder from Sea Kayaks. Really good. I didn't think it'd make that much difference. So I did a speed test on my last video. I'll just do it again. So a little bit breezy today, but that's idling along 5 k's an hour or 6 k's an hour. I do have the wind at me back, but you could do that all day pretty much. You could travel at 5, even going slow, going casually, 4 to 5. You can get up at just edging 7. The old legs start to burn pretty quick. Still sitting on 7, that's about maximum. Cruise all day on 5, and reverse is instant. Like, she pulls you up real quick. It is awesome. In the current, especially jack fishing and snags, it can hold you on a snag 7 or 8 casts. Geez, this rudder's good. That's instant turning. That is brilliant. Very, very happy with that. Should have bought that 6 months ago. Just show you, that's my little rod holder there too, if I'm fishing with the second rod, or I just want to paddle. Put my rod there out the way. It's got me little eye bulb, a little bit of silicone in there so it doesn't damage the rod. Off you go. Yeah, got to buy one of them aftermarket rudders. That's brilliant. That's now tracking straight. With the other rudder, you tend to overcorrect it all the time. That is good. So standing up on these, really stable, no dramas at all. And for a fraction of the price of a Hobie and half the weight of a Hobie, these are worth every cent. Like I say, I don't know about the belt drives, but these gear drives, they're heavy duty, they're really good. And just to lift the pedal drive, just kick your foot up out the way. Bit hard to see with the old glasses on, but you just got to line up that, pull her up, set that there, drop it there. So it's very, very efficient. Coming up to shallow ground, a lot of the pedal drive units you have to pull all the way out of the water. This one you don't, it just levers up. That was the main selling factor over a lot of the other pedal units. Yeah, very happy with it. 6 months in, and at the moment it's the best kayak I've owned. It's really good. Great value, stable, goes really good.